the black flags, children. No pity. No prisoners. I'll shoot any man I see with pity in them.
Well, I don't think I could have put that any better myself. So this time we are going for some Prussians, and this is the Warlord Games Epic Prussians. I'm painting these as Line Infantry Skirmishers, and so for the tunics, dark blue, so we're using Midnight Blue from Game Colour. And as a base coat, I used a black matte spray paint. I'm not sure, can't remember what the brand was, but it was just off the shelf from the local hardware store. Out of all of the Warlord Games miniatures, I do find they do have a good amount of detail in them. These skirmishers, though, I would say, out of all of them, leave the most to be desired. That's not to say they're bad, they are still good molds. But just some of them, especially like the backpacks, do kind of merge a little bit. So yeah, that's just my little review on the moulding. But overall, they're good miniatures, so yeah, I enjoy them. And I can't wait to get more on the tabletop. So next up, I'm using Uniform Grey from Army Painter. It's quite a nice sort of light grey, then it'll darken down later on when we put the wash over the top. And then we're using this just for the trousers. So I've been working on a few projects. Doing Prussians was a request from one of you guys, and so, as I said in the past, please do request things. It will take me a little while to get around to doing them, but as soon as I get a request, I add it to my list, and then eventually I do get down to it. I do all the videos in order of either requests or if I've just come up with ideas. So they will get done. There's still Soviet Russians to be done, World War II Italians to be done. They're actually, I 3D printed them, so they are ready. I just need to get around to doing it. I 3D printed some Pike and Shot miniatures, so they're ready to go. So yeah, there's quite a lot coming up. But yeah, keep coming with me. Keep coming at me with your requests, and I'll get them done. So next up was the boots and leather pouches. So we're just using black from Game Colour for this one. For those of you that haven't heard me say it before, I do like this black for leather work just because it dries slightly glossy. It's not a true gloss, it's just got a slight shine to it. So I always kind of imagine they've just polished their boots and whatnot, and so it's just got that fresh shine to it. But it's not a gloss by any stretch of the imagination, so they don't shine when they're on the table. And coming up shortly, I've just done a count up of the full order of battle for the 100 Days campaign of the British, French and Prussians at brigade strength, that is, not at battalion. And so we are going to be working on a Battle of Waterloo board shortly. I'll come back to that in a sec. Next we're using leather brown from Game Colour to do the muskets and the packs, and any other little parts of them which are wooden. I think some of them have some like axe handles and things like that, so that will also be done in brown. But yeah, as I said, so we've got enough of the 6mm. I think I mentioned it in one of my videos before. We used to have, this is me and my dad, enough miniatures to represent each regiment, but then over the last 15 years of moving house multiple times and moving to the other side of the planet, unfortunately some of them either got lost or stolen, and so our numbers did dwindle slightly, but we have enough to do every brigade represented by 2 bases. So yeah, it's still going to be a pretty good showing. So our next stage is to actually measure up and try and figure out what scale the table is going to have to be representing, and then we'll be laying it out. So there will be some, I guess you could say, big board build videos coming up in the next month or so. yeah, I'll be 3D printing La Haye-Sainte, Hougoumont, and if I can find them, different buildings from around the battlefield. So it's going to be quite an exciting period, at least for me anyway. I can nerd out. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I've just got to try and decide, do we just use full sheets of ply and make it just one table, forever Waterloo? Yeah. Or do we go a different route slightly, and instead of just having a full sheet of ply, maybe chop it into 2 foot by 2 foot sections, and then try and still build the battlefield, but that way it's going to be more modular, so that after we've played this one, we can just swing the sections around and have, in effect, different battlefields each time. That's the route that I would like to go, because that way it's more usable into the future. It's just a matter of whether we can design it that way because of the quite distinct ridge lines of the battlefield. I'm not sure quite how that would work out, so still in the planning stage, but if you've got some ideas, do let me know, because yeah, I would appreciate it. Anyway, back to the miniatures. We've got silver from Game Colour for the metalwork, so the barrels and bayonets, etc. And this is a nice colour, or a nice paint I should say. It flows nicely and it doesn't dry quickly, on the brush I mean. It does dry at a reasonable pace, but not on the brush. It doesn't go gloopy, so one of my favourite colours. And next up we go Flat Flesh from Tamiya Colour. Now this one on the other hand does go a bit gloopy, so it's definitely worth, if you've got it, add a little bit of flow improver to the paint just before you start. If you don't have flow improver, then definitely use a little bit of extra water in the mix, just to keep it active, otherwise it will go lumpy. Stick to your brush, and sometimes when you're painting over an area it'll pull the semi-dry paint off the miniature, so you just got to be a bit careful with Tamiya. But when it's dry, it does dry to a nice colour, so that's why I keep using it. You just got to be a little bit careful how you use it. And so I've received some good feedback regarding the Napoleon review video, so thank you all for that. I've had a couple of people actually request me doing one on Charge of the Light Brigade and a few other films, so yeah, if you're interested in that from a wargaming perspective, let me know some films and I can do some videos on those also, but I will do one on Charge of the Light Brigade shortly. But here we go, miniatures painted and ready for the tabletop. So as I said, I did like them. I do like the colour schemes. I think the dark blue and the grey of the Prussians looks very smart. And yeah, I've got some of the actual line infantry bases on order. So shortly they will be with us and the Prussian army will be marching forwards. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, leave some comments below, and I'll see you next time.